ओम ओम सहनाववतु सहनो भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम सच्चिदानंदरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रय विनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नुमः। ओम धर्मः प्रोज्झितकैतवोऽत्र परमो निर्मत्सराणां सतां वेद्यं वास्तवमत्र वस्तु शिवदं तापत्रयोन्मूलनं श्रीमद्भागवते महामुनिकृते किं वा परैरीश्वरः सद्यो हृद्यवरुध्यतेऽत्र कृतिभिः शुश्रूषुभिस्तत्क्षणात् यं प्रव्रजन्तमनुपेतमपेतकृत्यं द्वैपायनो विरहकातर आजुहाव पुत्रेति तन्मयतया तरवोऽभिनेदुः तं सर्वभूतहृदयं मुनिमानतोऽस्मि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिल शक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं। समस्तदेवताभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराण आचार्येभ्यो नमः। परब्रह्मणे महाविष्णवे ब्रह्मणे सनकसनन्दन सनातन सनत्कुमारेभ्यो नमः। श्रीनारदाय नमः। वेदव्यासाय नमः। शुकब्रह्मर्षये नमः। सूतमहामुनये नमः। शौनकादिऋषिभ्यो नमः। वैशम्पायनादिऋषिभ्यो नमः। अत्र्यादिऋषिभ्यो नमः। मत्स्यादि अवतारेभ्यो नमः। प्रह्लादादिभक्तजनेभ्यो नमः। आदित्यादिनवग्रहदेवताभ्यो नमः। दक्षिणामूर्तिदत्तात्रेय हयग्रीवादिगुरुभ्यो नमः। मातापितृदेवताभ्यो नमः। दुर्गालक्ष्मी सरस्वतीरूपिणी श्री आदि पराशक्तिमात्रे नमः। आद्यशङ्कराचार्यवर्यादि गुरुभ्यो नमः। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम श्री कृष्ण परब्रह्मणे नमः। श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराणम् एकादश स्कन्धः मुक्तिर्हित्वा अन्यथा रूपं स्वरूपेण व्यवस्थितिः। अथ सप्तविंशोऽध्यायः। Having saluted the entire Bhagavatacharyas, Mukhya, and also all the avatars, all the bhaktas, all the rishis, munis, and our own Gotra Rishi, also our Guru Parampara. Now we are taking up the everyday aspect or sadhana of chanting Srimad Bhagavata Mahapuranam. These Bhagavata Puranas, every chapter, every shloka, every letter is filled with Bhagavan Sri Krishna Tattva. With that understanding and acceptance and faith, with that type of bhakti and shraddha, feeling as if while chanting, Bhagavan Krishna himself is invoked and he is arriving both in our mouth to into our heart. In this way, having felt, let us do this great upasana of chanting Bhagavata Mahapuranam, 27th chapter, 11th skandha. All of you must participate, keeping books in front of you without any doubt. Today's this practice of yours of Parayanam alone, later stage, will be remembered as well as the meaning of that which is Bhagavan himself will be revealed to you slowly, steadily. It is a very divine, auspicious beginning. Let us start. Om Uddhava Uvacha Kriyayogam Samachakshva Bhavadaradhanam Prabho Yasmat Tvam Ye Yatharchanti Satvataha Satvatarshabha Etad Vadanti Munayah मुहुर्निःश्रेयसं नृणां नारदो भगवान् व्यासः आचार्योऽङ्गिरसः सुतः निःसृतं ते मुखाम्भोजाद् यदाह भगवानजः पुत्रेभ्यो भृगुमुख्येभ्यः देव्यै च भगवान् भवः एतद्वै सर्ववर्णानाम् आश्रमाणां च सम्मतं श्रेयसाम् उत्तमं मन्ये स्त्रीशूद्राणां च मानदः एतत् कमलपत्राक्ष कर्मबन्धविमोचनं भक्ताय चानुरक्ताय ब्रूहि विश्वेश्वरेश्वर श्रीभगवानुवाच न हि यन्तो अनन्तपारस्य कर्मकाण्डस्य चोद्धवा संक्षिप्तं वर्णयिष्यामि यथा वदनुपूर्वशः वैदिकस्तान्त्रिको मिश्रः इति मे त्रिविधो मखः त्रयाणाम् ईप्सितेनैव विधिना मां समर्चयेत् यदा स्वनिगमेनोक्तं द्विजत्वं प्राप्य पूरुषः यथा यजेत मां भक्त्या श्रद्धया तन्निबोध मे अर्चायामस्थण्डिरेग्नौ वा सूर्ये वाप्सु हृदि द्विजे द्रव्येण भक्तियुक्तोर्चेत् स्वगुरुं माम् अमायया पूर्वं स्नानं प्रकुर्वीत धौतदन्तोऽङ्गशुद्धये उभयैरपि च स्नानं मन्तरैर्मृद्ग्रहणादिना सन्ध्योपास्त्यादिकर्माणि वेदेनाचोदितानि मे पूजां तैः कल्पयेत् सम्यक् सङ्कल्पः कर्म पावनीम तैशैली दारुमयी लौहि लेप्या लेख्या च सैकति मनोमयी मणिमयी प्रतिमाष्टमिधा स्मृता चलाचलेति द्विविधा प्रतिष्ठा जीवमन्दिरम् उद्वासावाहनेन स्तः स्थिरायाम् उद्धवार्चने अस्थिरायां विकल्पः स्यात् स्थण्डिने तु भवेत् द्वयं स्नपनं तु अविलेप्यायाम् अन्यत्र परिमार्जनं द्रव्यैः प्रसिद्धैर्मद्यागः प्रतिमादिष्वमायिनः भक्तस्य च यथा लब्धैः हृदि भावेन चैव हि स्नानालङ्करणं प्रेष्ठम् अर्चायाम् एव तूद्धव स्थण्डिने तत्त्वविन्यासः वह्नावाज्यप्लुतं हविः सूर्ये चाभ्यर्हणं प्रेष्ठं सलिले सलिलादिभिः श्रद्धयोपाहृतं प्रेष्ठं भक्तेन मम वार्यमे भूर्यप्यभक्तोपहृतं न मे तोषाय कल्पते गन्धो धूपः सुमनसः दीपोन्नाद्यं च किं पुनः शुचिः संभृतसंभारः प्राग्दर्भैः कल्पितासनः आसीनः प्राग् उदग्वार्चेत् अर्चायाम् अथ सम्मुखः कृतन्यासः कृतन्यासां मदर्चां पाणिनां मृजेत् कलशं प्रोक्षणीयं च यथावद् उपसाधयेत् तद् अद्भिर्देवयजनं द्रव्याणि आत्मानमेव च प्रोक्ष्य पात्राणि त्रीण्यद्भिः तैस्तैर्द्रव्यैश्च साधयेत् पाद्यार्घ्याचमनीयार्थं त्रीणि पात्राणि देशिकः हृदा शीर्ष्णा च शिखया गायत्र्या चाभिमन्त्रयेत् पिण्डे वायुवग्निसंशुद्धे हृत्पद्मस्थां परां मम आण्वीम जीवकलां ध्यायेत् नादान्ते सिद्धभावितां त्रयात्मभूतया पिण्डे व्याप्ते सम्पूज्य तन्मयः आवाह्यार्चादिषु स्थाप्य न्यस्ताङ्गं मां प्रपूजयेत् ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम श्रीभागवत शरणं मम श्रीसद्गुरु शरणं मम श्रीसूत शरणं मम श्रीशुकदेव शरणं मम श्रीव्यास शरणं मम श्रीकुमार शरणं मम श्रीनारद शरणं मम श्रीब्रह्मा शरणं मम श्रीविष्णु शरणं मम श्रीपरब्रह्म शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम शरणं मम शरणं मम श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। ॐ मूकं करोति वाचालं भङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं स्वर्गे सत्ये च कैलासे वैकुण्ठे नास्ति अन्यथः अतः पिबन्तु सद्भाग्याः मामुञ्चदकरेसितो। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ श्रीकृष्णपरब्रह्मणे नमः। श्रीमद्भागवत महापुराणम् एकादशस्कन्धः मुक्तिर्हित्वा अन्यथा रूपं स्वरूपेण व्यवस्थितिः। अथ सप्तविंशोऽध्यायः। उद्धव उवाच If you have the research-oriented mind, as well as the keen intellection and the desires to know intellectually keenly, every shloka of our shastras have so much of detailed, deep meaning hidden in them to guide us in our path of spiritual evolution. So too, in the same way, if you have that sublime intellect, the intellect like that of a scientist. As the scientist, because of his intellect, he is discovering the scientific truths in the world. Even in the same way, with that mind, when we are little astika and devotee type, we can discover the spiritual truths hidden behind every of the scientific discovery, which the outward scientists cannot discover. Thus, this entire world is filled with the divine mysticism within and without. It is Bhagavan's Maya Shakti Ananta Krupa which is making this world run. The show of this world he is running with his grace. Our job is keep on understanding his grace and presence. To the extent we understand, we just abide by the rules and regulations. And the two more greatest rules of seeking him and trying all sadhanas to reach him. When we add these three, our life starts becoming fulfilled. Go on understanding secrets and know and follow our rules, our duties in that. While doing so, keep him as the ultimate goal. And having kept him as the ultimate goal, always have an inquisitiveness as to what is to be done or known to reach to that goal of reaching him. In this way, we have to grow one by one. Now, so far in these 26 chapters, the Mahima of Bhagavan, Saguna, Sakara, Nirguna, Nirakara, Uddhavji went on listening right from the first topic of that Navayogi discussion with Videha Raja. Kavir Harirantariksha Prabuddha Vipalayanah Avirhotrotha Drumilaha Chamasah Karavajana. Of late, he also heard from Bhagavan Krishna the Mahima of Santa, Mahima of the Satsanga. In the Satsanga, the listening to Katha of the Bhagavan, with that devotion to Bhagavan developed. Now what last thing remains is to reach to the Bhagavan. In Anubhava as Atmavastu, as also in Anubhava of having a darshana in the Saguna Rupa as Ishtadevata Rupa, his darshana as the Vishwarupa, his darshana as the Virat Rupa, his darshana as the Vaikuntha Sthita Rupa, and his darshana of in and through every animate, inanimate Rupa Nama, it is Bhagavan only. In these many ways, we have to have Bhagavan's darshanam after theoretically listening till this 26th chapter. Therefore, fully now established, convinced about two things by Uddhava. One, entire inner and outer universe is permeated by Paramatma. Second, only when I have the darshan of Him that I will be freed from all the limitations and bondages. Very clear? Therefore, obviously, the question is how to have that Anubhuti of Bhagavan, and that Anubhuti of Bhagavan cannot happen without the Kripa Anugraha of Bhagavan. Therefore, what is the Kriya Yogam that is to be done to become qualified to receive the Kripa Anugraha of Bhagavan, by which in all these 6-7 ways we have Bhagavad Darshana, as a result of which we are freed from all limitations and bondages. See the clarity of the thought development in our Shastras. Every one of them here under consideration is Srimad Bhagavata Mahapuranam Ekadasha Skandham. Therefore, theory से satisfied नहीं हुए उद्धव जी. He wants to know practically what to do, and he wants to do also, and he wants to undoubtedly experience Bhagavad Tattva. He is seeing Bhagavan as an object, as a friend, as a respectful, reverential Yaduvamsha Uddharaka, as a guru. All he is learning from him. Yet, Atma Bhavena Anubhuti Bhagavan. And Bhagavan's darshana as he is in the world at his different levels. To come to that experience, what upasana has to be done, he wanted to know. Therefore, he clearly asked. Even what is that upasana to be done? To some extent, he knows it from various sources and authorities. In fact, he has practiced also some of them. But now, because of all the jnanam of Parabrahma Tattva, which he already heard from many others, now he got the chance to listen from Bhagavan directly in last 26 chapters. Same way, the theory after theory, the practice also which he heard from others and practice a little bit, that practical aspect also he wants to listen directly from the Mukharavinda of Bhagavan. So theory दूसरों से सुना, प्रैक्टिस भी दूसरों से सुना, थोड़ा किया. अब थियरी भगवान के मुख से सुने हैं, अब प्रैक्टिकल भी भगवान के मुख से सुन के पूरा करेंगे. That was his idea. And secondly, Bhagavan has come to establish dharma. The two dharmas Bhagavan establishes are: one, when he is there, he establishes dharma by physically eliminating the adharmic people, and secondly, himself practicing and guiding others. Second way Bhagavan dharma establishes is even if he leaves his avatara, completes for the posterity how the dharma has to be practiced, what dharma is, he establishes it by teachings. So Uddhavaji has become a means for the Lord by the choice of the Lord only to become like a calf there, from seeing whom the milkman Bhagavan Krishna himself, like Gita, has called out the sara of all the Vedanta Shastra regarding Laksha and Marga, regarding the goal and means of ultimate. And that is how he made Uddhava to ask right from the beginning, he answered. Now, the practical aspect also, he prompted Uddhava to ask. Uddhavaji is such a surrendered person. There is no ego in him. As prompted by the Lord, he just asked question and Bhagavan answered him. So, it is a Leela, like the entire universe is a Leela of Bhagavan. Here also, Prashna by Uddhava, answer by Bhagavan, has become a Leela for giving for all of us who are there after Bhagavan Krishna leaves, for giving all of us the sadhanas to practice the dharma, both the vyavaharika dharma, the antaha jiva dharma, as well as the paramarthika dharma. So that way we have to visualize all these stories. So one way Uddhava wants to know practically for his own sadhana and get established in Bhagavad Darshanam. Second, Bhagavan also wants to give the entire sadhana for the Kali Yuga sadhakas, you and I. Third, the occasion also has come or Bhagavan has created in which the questioner and attentively listener were available in Uddhava. Bhagavan Krishna was the thorough answerer also. He invoked in himself Krishna, he gave answer. Same Bhagavan later on will come through the Sukadevji and will give this knowledge to the Parikshitji. But in this way, every time Shukadeva coming with all his memory of 18,000 shlokas giving to Parikshit is not possible. Like Parikshit, like students. Therefore, same Bhagavan who came as Krishna and gave knowledge to Uddhava, who came as Shukadeva and gave it to Parikshit, himself came as Vyasa and made a pothi form, the book form of this Grantha, so that as the time passes, because the memory capacity both of the Guru and disciple will be reduced, the book is available, then the Gurus can refer to them. Gurus have the Anubhava, Gurus have all the sadhana, but step by step development with all the authority of these shlokas, they may or may not remember, because even if they are gurus, if they are in Kali Yuga, their minds also affected by the Yuga Dharma of not remembering everything, every shloka for that matter. Sadhana and Siddhi they achieve. You understand? But memory aspect in Kali Yuga, very less memory. Understood? Therefore, the book has been made by Vyasaji. From then till now, every of the Guru, their own experience and whatever the sadhana they have done or doing, alone they have explained while referring to these great Shastras. This is how we have to keep in mind. So, all that now Uddhavji is asking, Kriya Yogam Samachakshva Bhavaradharatanam Prabho. Hey Prabho, please teach me the Kriya Yoga Paddhati, the practical means of doing your Aradhana. See, that shows the glory of the disciple, that he is not satisfied with the theory, he is not felt heaviness with the theory. Rather, the theory heard become an inspiration to him. He wants to know the practical means, he wants to practice this knowledge, and he wants to experience it. This is what is the evolution stage where we have to reach. Like a Vishayasakta Vyakti looks at the Vishayas and gets the desire of it, and all the time thinks about how to propitiate those desires, how to get those desires fulfilled. Is it not? Every time कुछ चीज देखा कामना हो गया उसको कैसे पाना. This is the nature of the samsaris. Now, Uddhavaji is such a highest level of sadhana. He has heard about glory of Bhagavan. Now, he got desire to experience Bhagavan. Shubhecha. Then he wants to know what is the technique. So, therefore, give me that Kriya Yoga by which your Aradhana is done, having done which you are pleased to give your darshan and anubhuti to me in all the aspects. Now, here Bhagavan in front of Uddhava is only in the Avatara Rupa. Only in the Avatara Rupa, like he was commonly available, Lord Krishna, to everyone. But Uddhava want to see the Krishna as Virat Rupa, Hiranyagarbha Rupa, and the Vishnu Mahurti Rupa, Sarva Vyapaka Rupa, and Parabrahma Rupa. In all those aspects, transcendentally as well as immanently, when we know Paramatma, then the knowledge or experience of Paramatma becomes complete. Therefore, Kriya Yogam Samachakshva Bhavat Aradhanam Prabho. See, in this way, chanting every sloka, pausing at every sloka level, understanding the meaning of every word, understanding depth of every word, thus understanding the superficial meaning of every sentence and the deep meaning of every sentence. This is called as Adhyayanam of the Shastras. That is how when you do in the form of Adhyayanam, the study, then only the deeply hidden meanings of these great, grand, glorious Shastras are revealed. Then only we will develop respect for them, then only we will be able to use them for the highest purpose. Like morning Telugu people are listening to the meaning of every Nama of Vishnu. Only when they are knowing the Nama Artha that they are able to understand how great, deep are the meanings of each Nama and how for the highest purpose even of Mukti that these Namas can be used. When that was not analyzed or told, Vishnu Sahasranama means only a text of superficial Parayanam. See, Purusha Suktam, Sri Suktam, Narayan Suktam, all the Suktam, Neela, Devi, Durga, all Suktas, all whatever say, Bhagavad Gitas, even all the Rudra, Namaka, Chamaka, all of us take them only for Parayanam. Only when you know the meaning, you know how sublime are those in their meaning and how best they can be utilized. This way the Bhagavata, the Puranas also including Ramayana. रामायण में भी आप देखो तो एक एक लाइन में स्टोरी के साथ साथ थ्रू द एडजेक्टिव्स श्री वाल्मीकि जी inspires and guides us to become like Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrugna in our inner divine noble virtues and qualities. Along with story, along with Dharma Paddhata and all of that. So Kriya Yogam Samajakshva Bhavadaradhanam Bravo. So I am not satisfied with the theory, sir. I want to have your darshana. For that, I want to know what are the techniques by which your aradhana is done. Because when I do aradhana and propitiate you, then only you will bless me to give your darshan. Right now, I did the aradhana of requesting it to give me the knowledge. Therefore, knowledge giving Guru Rupa you took and gave me the knowledge from last 26 chapters. But I want to know the practical means by which I will be able to experience you. That is the meaning of this question. Then, Yasma Tvam Ye Yatharchanti Satvata Bharatarshabha. All the highly matured people who have developed their Sattva Guna at the cost or elimination of Rajas and Tamas, the sign of growth in our Sattva Guna. If the Sattva Guna grows in us, the sign of the Sattva Guna is only to become Bhakta Bhagwan, Jignyasa of Bhagwan, and do only those sadhanas of Bhakti and Tattva Vichara by which Bhagwan is experienced in his Saguna, immanent form, and Nirguna, transcendental form. Those are not in that Sattva Guna, for them, they do Aradhana Bhagwan, but not for having Bhagavad Anubhuti or Darshana, but by the blessing of that Bhagwan, they want something of the world, the Artha Kama only. That is how in Bhagavad Gita Adi, as well as Bhagavata in earlier chapters, we have seen who are the Sattvika Kartas, Rajasika Karta, Tamasika Karta, Sattvika Rajasika Tamasika Jnanam, Sattvika Rajasika Tamasika Yajnas, Sattvika Rajasika Tamasika Sukhas. इतने बार हमने पढ़ा. That why it was given in Bhagavata in those 24th or 25th chapter, how exhaustively while the Triguna Varnana is done, all that was told, and toward the end, the set of three gunas influence in each of the things Bhagavan gave. We referred Gita and studied that also for around 20 days. So, why he is mentioned this word of Satvataha? Those Sattva Guna Sampanna only want to do your Archana with which you are propitiated and you bless us. That practical Archana ke liye jo technical theories chahiye, that is called Kriya Yoga. Kriya Yoga are the steps. Archana is the practice. Result is Bhagavad Aradhana. The result of that Aradhana is Bhagavan is pleased. The result of Bhagavan's pleasingness is he will give us his variety of darshanas. And the Sattvata Rushabha, what is the meaning of Sattvata Rushabha? Bhagavan himself is the one of highest of the Sattva Guna. In the Sattva Guna के लोगों में, Sattva Guna वाले लोगों में भगवान ही सबसे श्रेष्ठ. In while the whole world's manifestation is in action. When the world is not manifest, Bhagavan is not even the Sattva Guna. He is beyond Sattva Guna also, means he is beyond the three gunas. At that time, he is called as Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Swarupaya Namaha. The Shuddha means Shuddha Sattva. That is not even Sattva Guna, it is even beyond. So that way, every shloka, if you can really have the background of other Shastra studied, you can see the depth of that. Okay. In short, kya hai? Bhagwan, give me the theoretical steps called as Kriya Yoga, with which practical I do your Archana, which becomes an Aradhana to you, so that you bless me. This is what is done by all the people who are established in Sattaguna. With that practice, they reached you. Please, humko bhi batao. This is what is the meaning, Vyasa. Then, etad vadanti munayaha muhur nishreyasam nrunama narado bhagavan Vyasaha Acharya Angirasa Sutaha. Yesterday we saw exhaustively the Narad Ji's few stories, Vyasa Bhagavan ke baare mein thoda, then Brahaspati. These are the first three authorities who not only known the theory about Bhagwan's all permeability, but they also have known and did the practical upasanas of various kinds to experience that Bhagwan. Clear? So those were the ashramas about which we have only half picture in mind, that Guru Maharaj sits and gives the satsanga, Shishyas listen. He is only half listening. The remaining half is allowing the Guru, the Shishyas also do the practice of all the Upasana Paddhatis by which what is heard in the theory class is experienced. Like in our colleges and all those places, the theory is taught in the theoretical class about the physics or chemistry or various things. Then they are taken to those labs and practically they are taught. Then only the knowledge theoretical is made complete and made fruitful. In the same way, in our life also, whether it is the Arthakama Prapti, whether it is Dharma Moksha Prapti, after the Siddhanta Jnanam, we must also have the practical Jnanam and practice those practical Jnanam to get the Purusharthas fulfilled. So, the Naradadi Muni, Vyasadi Muni, and Vaspati Muni have become so great gurus not only by the theory. Please remember. In fact, they are great because of their practice. Because of practice, they are established in the experience, therefore, they are great. Those experienced great Mahatmas, when they are approached by the disciples or the Bhaktas, to them then they gave the theory. After which, when we study the theory, we are in the illusion that they are only a theory givers. No, they are practical doers and they are practical tips givers also. In fact, the practical tips practiced alone gives the fulfillment to the theory. This is how we have to study this. So, उद्धव जी ने जो प्रश्न पूछा, he says, I have not asked you the question casually out of my head. So, I have known from various sources that Narada, Vyasa Bhagavan, as well as Brahaspati, who are the highly, एक तो देवर्षि हैं, देवताओं के गुरु हैं, और ये भगवान व्यास, who is avatar only. They themselves have done this Kriya Yoga and reached you. And they themselves have given those Kriya Yoga Paddhatis to subsequent generations that I want to listen. Etad vadanti munayaha muhur nishreyasam param. So these munis, what they said, for all the human beings, this Upasana Paddhati is giver of prayas, is the giver of shreyas, is the giver of nishreyas also. So we told yesterday, prayas is all the things of this world. Shreyas is higher and greater world up to Brahmaloka Prapti. Nishreyasa means the experience of the absolute truth. So these upasanas can give all the three. But unfortunately, or for whatever reason, in the subsequent generations, people started doing these upasanas definitely, neither not for the Nishreyasa. They started doing it for the Shreyas of the higher world's Prapti. Later on, even the Shreya Prapti also they forgot. They started doing it only for the prayers of this worldly bhoga. Even to some more extent, the fall has happened wherein people do upasana not even to fulfill their own selfish desires, but for what? For destroying others. Like all these Islamic terrorists and all, how disciplinedly they learn all the warfare, not to protect the country or anything, but unnecessary to destroy the neighborhood and all the great other religions. See, upasana कर रहे हैं राक्षसत्व के लिए, to destroy others. This is how much ever theory we know. When the practice is not known, theory is waste. In the same way, how much ever practice we know and do, if the goal and intention is not pure and noble, those practices make us, convert us to become Rakshasas, terrorists. Therefore, we should balance between both. By the way, so here by saying this sentence, Narada Vyasa, etc., said that this your Aradhana Purvaka Kriya Yoga Archana is the means for Nishreyasa. While asking this question, Uddhavaji is telling to himself or telling to Krishna and telling to all the future readers of Bhagavata, especially this portion, that when you are learning the theory or practice of the theoretical practice of this Aradhana, don't use that Aradhana for any of the lower results. Do it only for Nishreyas. He is certainly hinting it. And he is also certainly hinting to Bhagavan, कि I know your upasanas give the Ihaloka Prapti, Paraloka Prapti. But I am not asking you this, and I will neither practice them for any of the Ihaparaloka Prapti. I will do them only for Nishreyasa Prapti. अदरवाइज अभी तक थियरी मुक्ति के बारे में सुनकर अब प्रैक्टिकल चीजें वो सुनकर कर रहे हैं जिससे मुक्ति के अलावा ऑल द बंधना गिविंग दिस और दैट वर्ल्ड प्राप्ति इज सॉट. आई एम नॉट लाइक दैट. Your teaching of theory got fulfilled in my conviction that I want to get Nishreyasam only. For that Prapti of Nishreyasa, only I will do your Archana, I will do your Aradhana. For that, whatever the steps of Kriya Yoga are there, please tell me. तो यह कहने का है, नारद जी भगवान वेदव्यास जी बृहस्पति के ऊपर कसम खाकर मैं कह रहा हूं कि आप जो मुझे उपासना पद्धति बताओगे वो करके मैं निश्रेयस को ही प्राप्त करूंगा, नॉट द अदर थिंग्स. लाइक दैट यू कैन इमेजिन, लाइक दैट यू कैन फील. इस तरह से ना, इफ यू कैन लर्न द आर्ट ऑफ reveling in our shastras, it is such an endless inspirational informative entertainment that in front of these entertainment inspiration informative no other entertainment of the world is great. मजा ही मजा है इसमें. अगर हो सकता है वो कैपेसिटी आता है भगवान के कृपा से. हो गया. नो नॉट ओनली नारदा व्यास बृहस्पति बट see, this is another thing. Third shloka. Let us chant. Nisrutam te mukham bhojat yadaha bhagavanajah putrebhyo bhrugumukhyebhyah devyai cha bhagavan bhavah. We are so lucky, fortunate in fact. What is said in this first line is what is we are going to study today or tomorrow in our Valmiki Ramayana also. See the coincidence from somewhere, everywhere, anywhere, nowhere. That topic only is going to come today, tomorrow in Bhagavatam, in Ramayanam, which we are discussing here. What is the topic? The first line. The total meaning of the line, sloka, first we will see, then line by line we will see. The total meaning is what? Ki Bhagavan Brahmadeva taught this upasana prakriya only to his own children called as Bhrugu Ityadi Saptarishis. And what Brahmadeva taught to his children, Bhrugu Ityadi Saptarishi, he learned it from you only, or Bhagavan Narayana, you only. Okay? He is not reminding it to Krishna that when you are Vishnu, you only gave it to Brahma. He is only telling that even I know, sir, that secret. That you gave it to Brahma, Brahma gave it to Bhrugu Adi. And in the other authority, what is said? Bhagavan Bhava, Shivaji also, after giving all the theory of Bhagavan's Narayana's Mahima to Parvati Devi, what again to have the darshan of Narayana, Shiva taught Parvati ji is again this Kriya Yoga only. That is the meaning of this shloka. Devyaicha Bhagavan Bhavaha. So now how many things we have to go on contemplating on this? I can talk on this shloka for 3 days. Each day 2 hours. That much of masala, that much of understanding with all the Pauranika stories that is hidden in that. But we will precisely see it. What is it is? A simple theory I will tell you. Shiva Bhagavan is great, Parvati is great, Bhruguvadi Rishis are great, Brahmadeva is great. Is it not? All of them are great, worship worthy by us. Now, how did they become such a great worship worthy? Just because Bhagavan Narayana has blessed them. How and why Bhagavan Narayana blessed them? Because they theoretically knew the glory of Bhagavan. Practically, they knew the upasanas to get blessing of Bhagavan. They went on practicing the upasana Bhagavan, the practice of it. Because of that, which they were slowly evolving to become to such a level of Shiva Parvati or Bhrigu Adi or Brahma. If you look at them, that they have evolved from the down bottom, they could evolve and come to that position because they did upasana of Paramatma, Aradhana Paramatma through this Kriya Yoga Paddhati. In that way, we have to understand. In other words, what you say, when they were manifested, they were all blank regarding who they are, what from they came, and what purpose they came from. First, all of them were given only one thing, just do the upasana of Narayana. When all of them did the upasana of Narayana in the given technique, then Narayana revealed to them that they came from Narayana. Point one. Narayana revealed to them what they are. Second point. Then the Narayana revealed to them what for they have come and what they have to do. So ब्रह्मदेव के हृदय से और उनके मन से भृगु आदि ऋषिस came, let us say. They didn't know where they have come from. So then Brahmadeva taught them, oh my children, you came from my mana, but don't have any doubt that I came from Navi Kamal of Narayana. Therefore, indirectly you and I came from Narayana. Okay ना? कहाँ से आगे बताओगे? Then कौन है हम? I am the Brahmadeva and you are the Rishi. Then what we have to do? What we have to do is I as a Brahma, through the Manu and all these Prajavatis, I am given the job of expanding the entire creation. And you as the Rishis have to go on taking different forms and guide both the proper pravritti and nivritti to all the jivas so that they don't do wrong and get destroyed. That's how Brahma goes on creating dehas, jivas go on entering into those dehas, then rishis continuously guide those who are available both for the pravritti as well as nivritti. See the system, whole thing, how systematically it is there. This is how the creation is going on. Do we have these high level of intellect and the patience to listen and understand? If we have, and if we really use them, and if we understand them, then the entire orientation changes. Our orientation regarding Ishvara, regarding Brahmadi Devatas, regarding the entire Rishis, regarding entire creation. More important than all of that is the orientation, understanding about ourselves, it changes. What is the change? That I am a jiva given this deha to clear my debts, to also clear my all the obligations, to clear my prarabdha through all the pravritti. And through the nivritti sadhana, I have to go back to identify with my own essential nature, which is Paramatma. If this clarity we are established in, then there is no invocation of samsara. There is a creation of samsara in us. Samsara is created out of moha. Moha is the child of avidya. Now, for what we came, what we have to do, this vidya has come to us. When the vidya came, where is the avidya? Theoretical. When the avidya is not there, why there will be undertakings of the wrong things of binding us? Therefore, that is why both to avoid the samsara and also to take us to realization, the only way is study Shastra, understand Shastra, practice Shastra. There's no other way. कुछ भी करो हम फंसे ही रहते हैं by the way. So now one by one, nisrutam te mukhambojat. So you yourself from your own Mukharavinda gave this practice of doing your upasana to Brahmadeva who came out of your own Navi Kamala. So when Navi Kamal said Brahmadeva, I, then he looked around, nothing was in him. He didn't know where from he came. He didn't know who is he. Then when he looked down, he just appeared to him the stem of that lotus. Tentatively, he thought he came from there. He entered into that, went inside, and everywhere there was andhakara. He could not understand. Then he came back. Again sat there on the Kamalam. Then from where I came, he just kept that inquiry. In that Bhagavan gave Pata. In that Pata Shabda, he started doing tapasya. In that, what was tapasya? Brahmadeva searching out where from he came. That question led to, the tapasya of questioning that where from I came resulted in the arrival of Narayana, in the pratyaksha darshana giving of Narayana. Naturally, obviously, the Narayana came. Immediately, Brahmadeva is understood, or he asked, who am I? Who are you? Vishnu said, I am Vishnu, you are Brahma, you came from me. Oh, so clear. Now tell me what to do, why you have created me. Then all that is subsequently told. Now, these Pauranika Kathas which are said on the highest seat of meditation heights, you can visualize all that, how from the Parabrahma Paramatma in his own infinite power, this Samashti Aham coming, and that alone is making the entire world happen. But for our mind intellects to evolve to that level, some millions of lives we have to go on doing the theoretical, the sadhana of all these upasanas. तभी हमारा मन बुद्धि इतने विकसित होकर उन चीजों को हम समझ पाए. By the way, I'm just keeping. But don't worry. At this level, whatever upasanas, sadhanas, dhyanas we have understood, उतना करते जाओ, वही इस जन्म के लिए मुक्ति. Main mukti for you and me is never to get trapped in new bandhanam, first of all. But already created bandhana of the vasanas of so many lives, in every life we go on clearing them without, like 10 जगह पे लोन ले लिया. फर्स्ट गोल इज 11th जगह पे लोन नहीं लेना. देन आफ्टर एक एक जगह चुकता करते जाना. Is it not? When you get a job proper. So too, when we got the job of inquiry of Mana Buddhi, with that, first thing we have to know and do is not creating new bandhana karanas and existing bandhanas in every life. Through going through prarabdha, we have to clear off, and simultaneously every life of little the known sadhana when we do, when it is making the Lord the happy, the Lord will give higher qualification, higher sadhana. Like in this life, to me, Bhagavan gave me the qualification of talking on the Upanishads. That is what is I deserving in this life. Now, when Bhagavan is satisfied with this, next life he will give me the higher promotion. While doing that, I will also exhaust my entire vasanas. In this life, whatever, next life, whatever, how many our lives it may take, how does it matter? But more thing I have to be conscious is no new things are created. About that when I am watchful, and how do you achieve it? Anything Bhagavan giving, that alone I do, and everything done is again offered to him only. Tera tujhko arpana, kya lage mera. Tadiyam vastu govinda, tubbhimeva samarpaye, karomi yadya sakalam, parasmai narayanaye samarpaya. Like those servants are all, finish the work of that day and come back evening, report the work and give back all the instruments, go back to their house. हो गया, आपने बताया करने को, हम करके आपको सौंप रहे, गए आप घर. देखो, in this way we have to live life. No, all those things. So ब्रह्मदेव को भगवान का जो theoretical knowledge है, अहमेवास्मेवाग्रे नान्यद्यत् सदसत्परम, having given that theoretical knowledge, he gave the practical upasana paddhatis also. Having done that only, Brahmadeva experienced that theory, that Sarvatra Narayana. Then only he started doing his given work of creation. Clear? Now at the second level, same Brahmadeva as ordered by Narayana, when he created the Bhruguvadi rishis from his mana, they also are have questioned doubt about what they are and all. By giving them the knowledge of Paramatma theoretical, knowledge of himself theoretical, knowledge about what they are theoretical, then he gave them practical tips also. First, to know Paramatma, experience him, thereafter do the job as given by the Narayan. For us also, it is the other way around. Because we are at the lower level as Jiva with so many samskaras, we have to exhaust the samskara vasana, become qualified for the highest dhyana. Having taught that dhyana, when we practice it, we experience Paramatma. After experiencing Paramatma, then we do the work given by Paramatma's service to the world. While doing that dhyanam, along with dhyanam, all these upasana prakriyas also are done. See, karma yoga say, from the world we come to the Lord. Upasana say, we invoke the Lord's grace so that He gives us His darshan. ध्यान में जो दर्शन भगवान दे रहे उसको हम पाते हैं. We experience the darshana given by the Lord in meditation. We invoke the Lord's grace to give His darshana by upasana. We become qualified to do upasana by clearing all our debts outside through karma yoga, or all our impurities removed through karma yoga. So कर्म योग से अंतःकरण शुद्ध, बाह्य जगत के सारे लोन चुकाकर उपासना के लिए we become qualified. Through upasana we invoke Bhagavan's grace, which is expressed in the form of Bhagavan's darshana. And in acute, highest, deep meditational level, we have Bhagavan's anubhava as darshana, or darshana as anubhava. That is how it should happen. Second is what? आपके मुख से ही ब्रह्मदेव ने ये सारा क्रिया योग को सुनकर करके आपका दर्शन पाए. Again, from the Brahmadeva's Mukhata Vindavani, his Bhruva Adi children have heard this Kriya Yoga, they practiced and they had your darshan. Therefore, theory as well as practical as well as the experience. That is coming right from the beginning of Narayana. And all these three only we have to do in this world. To know the theory about the goal of Lord, means of Lord, and learn all the practice of upasanas and do them. And when Bhagavan is pleased with all of them, when He gives us His Anubhava Darshana, we have it. Once we have His Anubhava Darshana, we know we are not other than apart from Him. Then all our Upadhi, as long as the Deha is there, we act as Bhagavan decides so. In different fields, wherever He wants, He employs us in His entire cosmos, universe, जहाँ हमारी जरूरत है वहाँ लगाकर हमसे काम करवाए. By the way, thereafter, Devyai cha Bhagavan Bhavaha. Now, in a humorous manner, this will tell you. But the point is not humor, the point is the thought there. See, Parvati Devi, nagging Bhagavan. Bhagavan thought how to keep her free from all nagging me. He started telling her theory. Theory she heard about Narayana and Rama. But still she is not freeing him. Therefore he said for himself that unless this lady experiences Bhagavan in her heart, she will not be satisfied in our inquisitiveness and she will not leave me. She will not go on nagging me. Therefore Bhagavan said, ये पार्वती theory सब समझो तुमने, आप भगवान का अनुभव के बिना ना तुमको मुक्ति होगा, in brackets मुझे नहीं होगा तुमसे, इसलिए मैं theory दे रहा हूँ. Nath, how long I have to do the theory till you have the anubhav of Rama everywhere? ठीक है, she went on doing theory. So she was kept busy. Lord Shiva was very free. He enjoyed his TV and all. And in between, Parvati used to ask, कब तक करूं मैं उपासना? तुम तो बैठकर टीवी देख रहे हो, मुझे आकर तुमको तंग करना है. नहीं 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 नहीं, never stop your upasana in between till the Narayana comes or gives darshan. So she out of obligation, she went on doing. Then when the Narayana came and gave darshan to her, she was calm quite. Then Shivji himself asked her, क्या हुआ, अभी आकर तंग नहीं कर रही हो मुझे, अब नारायण मिल गए तो मेरे को कोई जरूरत नहीं है, मुझे तुमको तंग भी नहीं करना है. I have darshana अनुभव भगवान. So that is how any individual troubling himself or troubling others ends only in experiencing Narayana after knowing the theory about Narayana as well as practical upasanas to experience the theory. This is the way and the only way. And this is the actual correct knowledge. Anything other than it, contrary to it, apart from it is knowledge के नाम पे ignorance ही है. So, by this, what we have to know now, all the great Vedantins, the great theory mongerers of listening to all the Upanishads, Oh, my friends, how many our number of Upanishads we may study in how many number of times? Still, till we don't start practically doing either the Upasana taught in our Taittiriya, right from Siksham, Vyakyasyama, Ityadi, or the Upasana that is being taught here in 11th Skandha 27th chapter. If we don't start doing them with all the Vedantic Tarya knowledge of Aham Brahmasmi, our life will be caught up only in Aham Dehosmi. The samsara of the Deha and Deha Tadatma will never leave us if we don't practically do these sadhanas and rise above. And the load of knowledge is more painful when it is not giving us the result. And knowledge is always a load if it is not practically done and the theory and the experience of its result is gained. याद रखना इन बातों को. So that is what is behind these questionings of Uddhavji about the Kriya Yogam Samachakshva Bhavadaradhanam Prabho Yasmatvam Ye Yatha Archanti Satvataha Sattvatarushabha. Then the authority of so many. Narada, Vyasa, Brahaspati, you yourself, your Nabi Kamala Utpanna Brahma and all Bhagavadi Rishis. After that, this Shivaji taught Parvatiji. Once it is said after Bhrigu Rishi, it should be understood that these rishis in their ashramas, in this parampara, they taught to all the disciples both the theory about Bhagavan's Prapti and Mukti and the practice of how to have Bhagavad Darshana through all the upasanas. That is why in highly traditional ashramas, the Siddhanta classes are there about Tattvamasi Mahavakya Upanishads. So too, there will be Yajnayagas conducted, there are also Upasanas done. Because without Upasana and Yajnayaga, the theory which is understood cannot be experienced. Now, what Bhagavan Shankara says, he through Yajnayaga and Upasana, you can't reach Paramatma, is Paramatma Anubhuti is not the karma phala. To stress on that point, he tells. But he himself, later on in all the Upanishad Bhashyas, you will see in Taittiriya only. In the next to next portion only, we will see that though the Karma Kanda and Yajna Ityadi are never the direct cause of moksha, moksha is caused only by Jnanam. But for fructification of that Jnana, for the requirement of inner purity, inevitably, essentially, everyone will have to do the Upasana of Yajna and Upasana of all Devatas. If that is not case, why did he give himself the Upasana to all the Shiva and Vishnu and Ganapati Ityadi? Why did he establish so many temples all over the country? Is there any place in India where Bhagavan Shankara Sthapita Mandira is not there? Kashmir to Kanyakumari and east to west. See, remember always, this thing should be remembered throughout life. Theoretically, only Advaita Brahma is the mukti giving. But practically, this theory will become our experience only when we do all the sadhanas of Dvaita, Vishishta Dvaita, depending on where we stand. वो सब करने से ही ये fulfill होगा. But while doing them, don't get caught up there. Don't ever take any one of them as the goals. The goal is only Advaita Brahma. But the sadhana is all. You have to do Ishtadeva Upasana, Guru Upasana, Maturdeva Bhava, with how many things. Tomorrow, day after, maybe in 3 days, you will see in Taittiriya, everything is said. I know, Srutancha, Satyamcha, Shamascha, Damascha, Swadhyaya, Pravachanacha, Manusha, Aditayascha. Wow, if you read that, Bhagavan says there, Rishi, Upanishad and Shankara, you cannot withdraw from any of your outer inner obligations, my dear friends. Through them only you have to reach to the ultimate. Having said now, one portion is over. What he wants to know and why he wants to know and what is the authority for him to ask this question. What he wants to know, Bhagavan's Aradhana Paddhati Kriya Yoga. Why he wants to know it? Do it and get the blessing of the Lord. Do it and make the Lord Aradhita and blessed by the Lord. And who are the authority? the Narada, Vyasa, Brahaspati, Bhagavan himself, and Brahmadeva and Saptarishis and Bhagavan Shiva. Main. It means everybody is included in that. ये एक portion हो गया. Hope you are clear. Now this is called as actual study of the Shastras. Of up 10% I can say, or 7-8% we have done. 90-95% more और भी है. अगर आप और कभी जन्म में हम मिलेंगे तो तब और देखेंगे. इतना काफी इस जन्म के इस मन बुद्धि के मेच्योरिटी के लेवल में. Now he comes to the next level of discussion. What is that? Not only in this way, this your aradhana rupi kriya yoga is authentic, but it is authentic and it is permissible to be practiced and useful for everyone. That's what he says. Yeah, etadvai sarvavarnanam ashramanam sa sammatam shreyasam uttamam manye sri shudranam cha manad. Hey manad, hey Paramatma, the one who gives mana respect to everyone. How? By enlivening them. How? By giving them phala of whatever the upasana karma they do. I am explaining you the word manada. Why Uddhavji said manada, advocate, sambodhana to Krishna. Manada is a sambodhana, addressing. Hey manada, mana dene wale, samman dene wale. He gives sammana to everyone in general by enlivening them. And he gives sammana to everyone depending on whatever the upasanas, punya karma he has done. Ultimately, Bhagavan has to give sammana to everyone because everyone is his own form. That is what in Vishnu Sahasranama. Amani. Bhagavan has no ego of himself, but manadaha. What is said here? Giver of respect, value to anybody, everybody. Therefore, manyaha. He becomes worthy of respect. No ego, respects everyone, therefore becomes worthy of respect by all. In what way? Lokaswami Trilokaduk. Why? Sumedha Medajaha Dhanyaha Satyamedha Dharadharaha. There are all the sequential developments of the names of Vishnu in that particular shloka. So, sabko mana maryada due value respect dene wale he Krishna. Manada, what? Etad vai. Vai means indeed. Vai means in fact. Vai means certainly, undoubtedly. Etad means that which I am asking you. The Kriya Yoga, the Archana Paddhati to do your Aradhana, Sarva Varnanam, Sarva Ashramanam cha Sammatam. Dekho, now listen carefully here. All Varnas means Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. All Ashramas means Brahmachari, Grahastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasi. All these of them, listen carefully the next sentence, all of them can do these upasanas. Second point is, should do these upasanas. Now see, what we have to very clearly understand is what? While conducting our day-to-day activities according to our dharma, while listening the theory from the gurus about the mukti, about Bhagavad Tattva, etc., all the Varna Ashrama, right from the word go onwards, have to do necessarily the entire upasana prakriyas. If entirely they can't do, whatever they are supposed to do or can do, they must go on doing. याद रखना इन दोनों बातों को. हम मुक्ति मिल चुके वाले हैं, मुक्ति के मार्ग में हैं या संसार में हैं. To all the three stages में, serving the world through dharma, doing the upasana of Bhagavan are inevitable. Without these two, what happens, the laziness, tamoguna, the stoniness grows in us, as well as our mind becomes free to imagine every useless desires through its sankalpa and gets us bound through a variety of the karma, kamya karma, to the lower lives. फिर से मैं बता रहा हूँ, don't miss it. Whether I am pakka samsari, whether I am a sadhaka, whether I am a siddha purusha of Paramatma Anubhuti. In all the three cases, serving the world through dharma, Upasana done to the Ishvara has to be continuously done. Serving the world is for clearing the debts and clearing and making the antakarana shuddha. Upasana is done to invoke the grace of Paramatma. Clear? Should be done when I am in samsara, not to fall into further samsara and substantially fulfill all the samsara dharmas. साधना काल में भी अंतःकरण शुद्धि के लिए बाहर का धर्म करना है और भगवद अनुग्रह के लिए उपासना. सिद्धि मिलने के बाद भी what else to do as long as the body is there? Serve the world. Then what we have to guide to the people doing the upasana and show them that upasana is required. When I am doing, why don't you do? That's why Lord Krishna and Rama, they also have done upasanas. Not that they need, just to guide the next generation. They also have served the world. Not that they needed, but only to guide us. So though they are in the Brahmanishtata, but when they came as avatara, they can't afford to misguide the people. Therefore, to guide them, they have done the outer seva, they have done the upasana. We have seen Bhagavatam 10th Skandam, Bhagavan Krishna every day morning getting up, doing upasanam, dhyanam, everything. All of them went to the Prabhasa Kshetra and did the upasana to Bhagavan Surya. Then they did upasana to Mahadeva and Mata Rani. देखा कि नहीं हमने? See, Utsideirime loka na kuryam karma chedam. If I don't do the karma, people will be destroyed because they take me as authority and they also stop doing. Therefore, name parthaste kartavyam trishlokeshu. In all the three worlds, I don't have any kartavya to be done. Why? Na anavaptam avaptavyam. There is nothing which is not mine, nor I am not going to lose anything by not doing. Yet, varte vacha karmani. Still I go on performing. Why? यदि अहम नवर्तेम जादु कर्मणि अथन्यतः मम वर्तमान वर्तन्ते मनुष्या पार्थ सर्वशः. Again I am repeating. Outer services, inner upasanas, innermost meditations. These are to be eternally all the time done. Of course, as the age grows, as the maturity comes, the type of outer services, inner upasanas change. Like when I become old, I can't do the service as I was doing as a young man. When I was young, I could jump into water and save somebody. Now, an old man, if I jump up, I will die. But at the old age, I can pray to the Lord and ask Bhagavan to save that fellow, or employ somebody, or use the wealth or any of the popularity or the experience that is gained by them. That is called outer service when we are old. So to the upasana is at the age of young age, I could do upasana for 8 hours, 6 hours by doing abhisheka to all the devatas in the puja mandiram and washing them, putting chandan, kumkum. That you can't do when you become 70 years. That time upasana continues, but all these sthula prakriyas get reduced only if you are done. Somebody or bahu or anybody at home, they will make every puja items ready. You only light the lamp, they bring the pool, you offer, they bring naivedyam, you keep it, that's it. They chant mantras, you listen. Even that also is difficult. You sit in a chair and the closed eyes, you go to your puja room mentally and do all the upasana. If not for 6 hours, at least for half an hour, 1 hour. But karte hi rehna. So to the dhyanam. So all the varnas, all the ashramas, for them it is sammatam. Sammatam means they are allowed to do, they must do. And all ashramas, varnas, especially the Shudra, they are not allowed to do the yagni agadi. Is it not? They can't do the Veda Adhyanam ityadi. But they can do the Saguna Upasana. They must do only. Now we are getting the authority of Bhagavata for this. When it is mentioned by Uddhavaji, Bhagavan Krishna did not deny it. He did not deny means he has accepted. He has accepted means he has endorsed or permitted or blessed. For what? All Varna and all ashramas should know the Upasana Paddhati of God and they must do. The Kshatriya Vaishya Shudra later on not allowed to do the Upasanas in the temples. याद रखो मंदिरों में सिर्फ ब्राह्मणों को करना है. In the same way, in the communal programs में ब्राह्मणों को, but घर में everybody in their house should have puja room and must do puja, should have their own dhyana room and should do dhyana there, and they should have the outer worldly place of work and they should work outside. बाहर का कर्म क्षेत्र और उपासना का एक क्षेत्र, ध्यान का एक कक्षा होना ही चाहिए. नहीं है तो एक ही रूम में सारे करो. Question is not of the rooms. How wonderful it is. Etadvai. Vai means indeed, in fact, certainly, surely. Sarvavarnanam ashramanam cha sammatam. Therefore, if the Brahmanas say the Shudras should not do the puja, they are partially right. They may not do the puja in the temple, sir, but they have to do at home. Why they should not do in the temples? It's a negative way of saying. It is not that Shudra should not do the puja. That is negative way of saying. The positive way is the Brahmanas should do the puja. ब्राह्मणों को करना है, ब्राह्मणों को ही करना है, ब्राह्मणों को ही करना है, शूद्रों को नहीं करना है, शूद्रों को नहीं करना है. This is how the sentence or the meaning gets totally ulta meaning. Brahmanas must do puja. Next, Brahmanas alone must do puja. Third, Brahmanas alone must do puja, not others. Fourth, others should not do puja, and Brahmana also not doing Satyanash Sapta. Why Shudra should not do? Because if they start doing puja, who will do their work? Secondly, when who is qualified for what, he only should do it. The system is made for the totality's benefit, not to create the differences and quarrel among them. Always remember, as much the Brahmana's work of Upasana the Shudra cannot do, so much the Shudra's work of service Brahmana also cannot do. If he goes to do that work, he will be frustrated and failure fellow there. So too other Varnas. The warfare of Kshatriya, a Brahmana cannot do, तो घबराएगा, कमजोर हो जाएगा वो. Only Kshatriyas. By the way, I am telling you, the Varnasa Vyavastha is for the individual and total development only. It's a great contribution of the absolutely uninformed politicians, pakka 100% uninformed politicians, that for their own selfish purposes, they have created enmity among them. It started by Mughals and all, later on developed by the Britishers, then continued by our politicians, even now. Every state. And now see the latest vast news, which I never imagined, dreamt also, even in the dream. In all the foreign countries, all the Indians are fighting with each other so much because of their own, their own prantiyata and their bhasha. The Telugu, Tamil, Kannada, Marathi, Bengali लोग ही आपस में लड़ रहे वहाँ. In the Telugu, Andhra and Tamil Nadu, Telangana are fighting there. Kal ka suna maine news. That is why some are liking that Shaunaka Rishi to become president or prime minister. Others are not liking. You know, these are all dangerous things. See this how much percolated. All the Vaishyas in our foreign countries, one group. All Brahmanas, other group. Who went from India and carrying all the dirty nets of all the differentiation even there. Telangana ka group, Andhra ka group, Reddis ka group, ye wala, wo wala. When they don't have the basic knowledge of universal oneness and then Vritti and Pravritti properly, anywhere they go with all their wisdom, qualification and contributions, they also have these negativities. In the beginning, it appears to be fancy. Later on, it becomes the cause of gadbida. Very dangerous. It is like all the Shia Sunnis fighting. It's all Muslim country only that. Still, the Sakta is low guy. There are 27 types of the Islamic groups. There are 100 types of Christian level. They also kill each other, fight each other. So too Indians on the name of their languages or their culture or their whatever differences. We are all one. We are all Vaidika Sanatana Dharmi. पहले उसका आइडेंटिटी स्ट्रांग करके to reach to that Vaidika Sanatana Dharma goals, we belong to this tradition and parampara, and those we are following. And they are all personal things. When you come to the communal thing, the communal unity को create करने वाले rules को हमें follow करना है. Thus in America, we have to be there as Indians only and unite. Don't bring all other differences. I'm telling you the dangers, how the less informed people who are immature in other aspects but not matured here become cause of problems. Like in India, every Sunday you can see in one or the other church, this fatheri, that fatheri beat each other only, this group and that group. Every one Sunday you see the news. Because of differentiation, everywhere it is so. See, Saramsha is what? Everyone's goal is to know Paramatma. Everybody can know Paramatma only through Upasanas. When it came to Upasanas, everyone is given different Upasana Paddhatis by their tradition. So respecting each other, doing your own Upasana. Like I'll respect every mother, but do the Upasana of my mother. Is it not? When I respect other mothers, it's not that I am insulting my mother. Is it not? In the same way, while respecting other mothers, if I don't respect my mother, then I am Bewkoof number one. My mother is my mother. So my religion is my religion. My practice is my practice. Yet, I don't fight with others, compete with others, compare with others. And in the world, when two people are there, the two-ness itself is established because of differences. If there are no differences, how can there be two? Differences are essential for the expression of two. But that should not differentiate those two to be two to quarrel with each other. That wisdom we should have. Lot of things we can discuss. Itna kafe aaj, all varna and ashramas must know and do the aradhana. Okay? Then Shreyasam Uttamam Manye. This is the giver of the ultimate Shreyasa to all of them. And not only this, Stri Shudranam cha, even the Stris, even the Shudras, they are not allowed for some Veda Mantra Charana, Vaidika Yagna Yaga Adi, but they must do upasanas by which they get the same result which is gained by the men or the Brahmana Kshatriya by doing those things. You understood? फॉलो वही है, दोनों को मिलेगा, बट कुछ काम इनको अलाउड नहीं है, इनको अलाउड है. Like the doctor, both are result is treatment, but some things are allowed for this patient, not for you. Remember, all that is again only for one life. Only one life between birth and death. After the death, there is no guarantee that the Brahmana of this life will be born as Brahmana next life. He may not even have a guarantee to be born as human being only. That Brahmana, if he lived a wretched like a buffalo, he will be buffalo only. एक ही जिंदगी के लिए होता है वो. And no guarantee that every Shudra will be Shudra in next life. He can be Vaishya, Kshatriya, Brahmana. Is it not? Like in any banks, after 3 years of service, where they are posted, nobody knows. Depending on the requirement of that bank and branches, they make some rules. कि 3 साल उस करना, 3 साल नॉर्थ में जाना, इधर जाना. Like in army, every person for 3 months or 3 years, they have to work in the Siachen Glacier, Sarle and Ladakh in their service period. That's how everybody should get that. So too in the Jammu Kashmir region, so too in the north central region. Now, as a systematic plan होकर होता है for the whole nation's development and also each one's contribution. In the same way, in every janama, recording depending on our nature, we'll be born differently. And no guarantee that I'll be born as Hindu only. Depends what Ishvara wants. Everything is possible in this world. You can be born anywhere, not necessarily in India. In some place I can be born. Every North Indian need not be North Indian only next life. If he is fond of idli dosha, he'll be born as idli dosha vendor in South India. सारे पराठा ही खाते गए साउथ इंडियन वाले, अगले जन्म में पंजाबी टब्बा एक खोल के बैठेंगे वहां. हाँ? परगत सिंह वैष्णो धाबा, जो भी नाम दो. So we have to expand in our thinking, then in understanding, so that the small little things we transcend and the higher things we conceive and start practicing. फिर भगवान को कहते हैं एतत् कमल पत्राक्ष कर्म बंध विमोचनम भक्ताय च अनुरक्ताय ब्रूहि विश्वेश्वरेश्वर. I am your bhakta and I am anurakta to you. Hey Vishweshwareshwara, please tell me this sadhana which gives moksha from the karma bandha. Oh Kamalapatraksha. Same in Gita. Tatta Kamalapatraksha Mahatmyamapi chavyam evam etat yatha tattvam atmanam parameshwara drashtumichhami te rupam aishwaram purushottama. 11th chapter Arjuna shlokas. Tomorrow, these two shlokas, which we have dealt little, we will do more, then we enter into Bhagavan Krishna's reply. Okay, once we are fully established in these introductory verses with their meaning, then when Bhagavan is going to give us this Kriya Upasana, one by one shloka, we theoretically fully understand. Then practically every one of us have to do in their own house. ये कई भी आश्रम में मिले, जैसे मैं कहा कभी 1 महीना हर दिन 6 घंटे ये उपासनाएं करेंगे. We should enjoy. I told you once, remember? 1, 2, 3 years only in meditation. 1, 2, 3 years only in japa. 1, 2 years only in parayana. 1, 2 years only in the upasana. This is how we have to dedicatedly do those sadhana and enjoy. Another way of that is every day doing all these things, half an hour, 1 hour, 1 hour. And I like this idea and I am practicing little bit, not much. Like when you are in service, morning 9 to 5 o'clock, you go to office. Even after retirement, from morning 9 to 5, you have to involve in some or the other seva or sadhana. That is why I have taken up. I am no naukri. Yet, सुबह से शाम तक 6 class लगाते हैं. So that we also have to be busy. Otherwise, on the name of Babaji and all, I can become more lazy and liability than anyone, which is not allowed by the Lord. It's like नौकरी only to me. मुझे तो 5 बजे स्टार्ट होता है. सुबह उठ के नहा के ऊपर till night 10, 11 चलता ही रहता है. And that is keeping physically, mentally myself fit. So too, don't say that स्वामी जी हर दिन ये सब करने के लिए टाइम नहीं होता. टाइम बहुत है, उसको हम गवा रहे हैं. You say that I am still in service. I am retired from the government service, but I have taken up the divine service, the real government. So start after breakfast, 9 to 10, 10 to 11, 11 to 12, 12 to 1, 1 to 2 take rest, and 2 to 5 evening. Okay? Swami, before 9 and after evening 5:30, what I should do? अरे आ जाओ मेरे क्लासों में. That is why I said 9 onwards. 7:30 to 9, this class. Evening also 5:30 or 6 to 9, again this class. In this way, what is there in life? Get habituated. Life we got habituated into the wretched things of the worldliness. Get habituated to the spiritual things. वो करते गए तो धसते फंसते गए, ये करते गए तो तरते जाएंगे. That's the only difference. Okay, tomorrow we'll see. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamādaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti. Sri Krishna Parabrahmane. Now let us study one sarga of Valmiki Ramayana. Not much.